Follow the Path. The Bears Grove is adult-level discussion of role-playing as a storytelling art at samchuppmedia.com. Hello and welcome again to another Bears Grove podcast. I am Sam Chupp, your podcaster. Today on the program, I'd like to talk a little bit today about the concept of sandboxing versus storytelling. So, one of the things that I took away from my initial read of the whole indie RPG scene is I was struck straight in the middle of the forehead by the concept of illusionism. And this is a wonky term. It's not really important to what I'm talking about today per se, but what it basically means is when a GM is responsible for the success of a game by their own performance skills. Okay? It's not about the system. It's not about the rules or the setting as much. It's about the GM. So if you can't take a game and hand it over to somebody completely different and have it play similarly, if not completely similar, then what you've got is an illusion. And that really hit me in the head because I do that. I was that guy. And I still am to a certain extent. But what that means is without your personality and creativity to guide the game, you aren't able to really call yourself a game designer. Unless you can package up your psyche and deliver it to everyone who's playing your game to have it run the game for them, you're not really designing a game. And that was a hard fact for me to take in. And so I have fully taken it in, and I've decided that for me, first of all, the way I looked at it is, well, why not I'm just going to go ahead and focus on source book material. Okay? Supplementary source book, systemless source book material. And that is more honest to me because I'm writing something down as a setting for you to use or not use as you wish. I don't have to package myself up into it per se. You can read what is written and interpret it yourself, and that's it. Done. And I don't have to worry about the fact that I'm not somehow teaching you to GM like I GM, right? And I'm not saying that my way of GMing is the best way. But the other thing that it did is that it really forced me to take a look at how I was running my games before. And the fact that I was kind of a performer GM. People would come to play in my games because they liked my performance. And that meant when I was not on in the game, when I was not like super present and ready to go, that meant that they were not as engaged. Okay? And there was a lot of stress put on me because I'm sitting there going, okay, I am the one who has to make all this work. And I have to do the extra work to make sure, extra prep work to make sure all this works the way that I have always had it work. And that was really draining. That was a lot. I did it because I was younger. I had a lot of creativity. I did it. But as I grow older, I realize that that's not fair to me. And it really robs other people who want to participate in a creative fashion of their ability to do so. However, like in all spectrums, people will swing back and forth like a pendulum, right? So on one hand, I swung all the way forward to the more storytelling, more linear, if you will, the derogatory term for it is railroading, okay? And I would do that instead of having a environment that I invited people into and allow them to do their, to take the game and make it for them what they wanted. And that's more what I call an open-ended or sandboxy kind of way. And I've tried this on multiple games, okay? I've tried to be more sandboxy than linear. And I'm here to tell you that, at least with the players that I play with, that didn't work too well. Yes, it's true that as a player of mine, you could decide that suddenly, you could say, well, this whole mercenary thing isn't working out for me. I need to go become a pirate. Okay. I would do that for you. I would make it so that you could have a number of ships to choose from, situations that would allow you to get into being a pirate if you wanted to, or a privateer. If you're not an evil person, privateer. And I would set that up for you so that we could go forward in that realm and do what you want to do. It's a sandbox, right? One moment. So sandboxes are great for a lot of reasons, in the sense that they allow you to have an open world, and literally a player who goes into that world can make anything they want happen. Now, what is my role in that situation? Well, I've got to keep the rest of the world moving in the background, and I've got to, make sure that world stays vital outside of the bubble of the player's experience. And that's not a bad job to have. I quite like it myself when I get that. However, what I've discovered is people these days, the adults that I play with, they're not really interested in creating something brand new. The way they see things is they want me to have a story ready with mysteries to solve and problems to fix, and they want me to put that in front of them and let them go at it. And ideally, there would be people along the way pointing in those directions. And for the longest time, I tried that in the past. I've done that in the past, and I got to a point where I just felt like it was intellectually dishonest to do that. Now, it's true that in a sandboxy kind of world, you have the players will occasionally throw, they'll go to a certain point and then they'll decide to go to something completely different. And in a sandbox world, you're good. You're fine. You've got your whole outline. You know what's going on in the world. You can take that and run with it. But in a linear game, if people decide suddenly to start acting like it is a sandbox game and turn around and say, well, actually, we want to start making healing potions beside the road and selling them, because that's really going to be a better return on our investment than adventuring. Well, it kind of throws all the prep work I've done out the window. Because you have to prep all those things. You have to prep a story, beginning, middle, and end. You have to have rising action that gets to a point of climax, and then it builds to another climax, and it builds to another climax until finally there's a denouement. That's the whole 3-act structure. Everybody knows it. You get it fed to you in your mother's milk when you're watching TV shows and movies and reading books. So it's everybody knows what this is, right? They may not consciously pick up on it, but it's inherent in the culture. And Furthermore, there are some people who go ahead and utilize the hero's journey myth model, the monomyth, and they have even more specific. This is the meeting with the mentor. This is the many roads, the many meetings area. This is the the confronting the shadow. All those statements, all those scenes have specific meanings, and you can feel like a puppet on the strings of those expectations, right? The long and the short of it is that I feel like these days that there's got to be more of a balance, because especially in this day and age when, as an adult, I don't have a lot of extra time, and my players don't either. We have our illnesses, COVID, and such not. I've had COVID, cancel mini games so far. We have people whose lives are very full and interesting, and they have a lot of stuff to do, and so they can't really commit to a game every week or whatever. So the time they have to spend with gaming is really precious to them, and they don't want to sit down at the table and say, crap, what do I got to do this time? Like, what am I supposed to do? They want a story. They want plot cookies fed to them, and they want things to move forward. And I understand that. And I'm starting to realize that my attachment to the open world concept has hurt a lot of my games. And I've got to get somewhere back towards the middle, or more towards the end of just being a sandbox. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm trying that with a new game that I'm playing. We haven't played very much, so hard to say whether it's working or not. But I do have to say this. I think that this is how art goes. It goes back and forth between different extremes. And if I can strike a note in the middle, I think it'll be better. If I can have linear story in there, but also allow for sandboxing, that would be good. That would make it better for me, because frankly, I'm not very interested in a situation where I know exactly what's going to happen next. Okay? I took the words "play to find out what happens" so near and dear to my heart. I took it in. I tried to make that my banner, and it didn't get me very far. In fact, it got me playing no games. So, the question really is, do you want to play a game with folks who are interested in playing, or would you rather sit and be right about your game beliefs? And I have to say that, having done both, I prefer having a group of people to play with. So that's where I'm headed. But I really hope everybody here has gotten something out of this discussion. If not, we'll try again. Send me a note, make a comment. Seems like right now the most notes I've gotten is going to be on my YouTube channel. If you wanted to go and, subscribe there and make a comment on your YouTube channel, that's fine. There's other places that I've put it out there, and it's on my blog. So it should be pretty easy for you to do. I've got a Tumblr now. It's called Bear of the Moon. And I look forward to seeing you there. Please add me, and we'll join in that wonderful community of weird people. I say that with all the love in my heart and the acknowledgement that I'm a very weird person myself. And I hope everybody has a great week. And when you rest, have sweet dreams when you get them. Bye.